Hello, West Republic Baptist Church family and others who may be watching. I'm Chris Beck, pastor of West Republic Baptist Church, and it's a pleasure to be with you virtually this evening, just for a few minutes. Normally, again, church family, this is when we would be meeting for our 7 p.m. prayer and praise service, and it's such a precious time when we get together and pray for one another related to our burdens, as well as to rejoice with one another related to our praises. Now, let me remind you that we have the prayer wall for our church family, and you can use that to post your praises as well as your requests. And let me thank all of those who have utilized that tool. It is such a blessing to be able to see what's going on and to learn about the situations that you're rejoicing over, as well as to learn about those situations that are burdens that you would like for us to pray for. And so thank you again for using that resource. Now, let me mention, I have been praying about the appropriate time for us to meet back together, and I have struggled in many ways because we all want to get back together, but at the same time, we want this to be we want to be very wise about it. And so I don't think it'll be this Sunday, and I'm not sure about the next Sunday. I'm thinking the 31st, maybe the 24th, but likely the 31st. I'm thinking about that. The 24th is Memorial Day weekend, and I'm not sure that's the best Sunday to get back together. I just didn't feel that this Sunday was the right time for a number of reasons. We want to make sure that we don't rush back. We have a number of folks with a lot of different health issues that can compromise their health, especially if they're exposed to things that they shouldn't be, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen. But at the same time, we just have to be wise. And so we also had a missionary scheduled who was planning to be here, but he would have to travel through a number of states. He's a number of states away. He's in the States right now, but he would have to travel, and I didn't really want to ask that of him and his wife either. So just for a variety of reasons, we're not going to meet together this Sunday at the building, but we will be online together, and then we'll let you know after that just exactly when we're planning to get back together. But that's my thinking right now, and again, just pray for wisdom. Even when we get back together, though, it's going to be a phased-in process, and the first number of Sundays, it'll just be the morning service, and we will meet together. We will be very cautious. We will social distance. We'll have our offering in a place where you can place it in, but we won't be passing the offering plates. All those kind of things. As a matter of fact, I know I heard of some who are having people who come first, they sit in the front. Those who come later stagger pews toward the back, and then those that are later, they sit in the back, and the reason is you're not crossing over people's breathing and germs and all those things, and then when they dismiss from the back and move toward the front. And so we're thinking about just different situations and circumstances like that, and so be praying and be thinking about just how you can love one another from a distance, and how we can be safe and wise as we look at returning back to church. Church is so important, and getting back to the time where we meet together is so vital. And at the same time, because of our love for one another and because of our care, we want to do everything right. And so just be praying, and be praying for our church and our church family. Now, church family, you'll also be receiving a link to a missionary report, a video report from one of our missionaries, and so we will send that to you as a separate link, and hopefully you will enjoy that, but also it'll remind you to pray for our missionaries. Pray for our missions month. Missions for such a time as this. Missions for such a time as this. Esther 4:14, our theme verse. And please be praying. Now, as you know, and I haven't really talked about it much, but we'll be taking our faith promise commitments on the last Sunday. At least that's the plan right now. We'll be taking our faith promise commitments on that last Sunday of the month. And so be praying about what God would have you to give weekly toward worldwide missions. And I know my wife and I, we try to pray about that, and we try to increase our giving each year because God is so good and He's so faithful. But really, we want you to give what God would have you to give. And so what God leads you to give, please give that. No more, not a penny more, not a penny less. And the commitment As you know, church family, some who may be watching who aren't part of our church family may not realize this, but the faith promise commitments, those are between you and the Lord. You turn in a portion of a card to us, but it does not have your name on it. That lets us know how much to expect in the coming year related to missions. And then you keep a portion of the card that has that mark so you can remember and stay faithful in the commitment that you've made. But be praying. Ask God, what would you have me to do financially toward worldwide missions? Now also, don't limit it to money. Be praying about, God, what would you have me to do in terms of praying for my missionaries? What would you have me to do in terms of going? Would you be calling me to go to the mission field? Or would you be calling one of my children to the mission field? Be praying about what God would have each one of us to do related to worldwide missions during this Global Missions Emphasis Month. And I just want to thank our church family. You are so faithful, and you are such a blessing. And so thank you for being just amazing as a church. And we do look forward to when we can get together again, and hopefully very soon. Now, in closing, I wanted to read just a psalm for you. I love Psalm 100, and I just thought I would share it with you. Psalm 100, a song of praise for the Lord's faithfulness to his people. Here's what it says. Make a joyful noise to the Lord, all you lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know that the Lord, he is God. It is he who has made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful to him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good, and his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endures to all generations. Think about that, just that last verse. The Lord is good. He is good. We can trust him. His mercy is everlasting. Aren't you thankful that God is a merciful God? And then his truth endures to all generations. What God says is true. It will always be true. He is an amazing God, and he keeps his promises. And so in these uncertain times, WRBC family, we can be certain that the Lord is good, that his mercy is everlasting, and that his word is always true. Have a blessed Wednesday evening. Thank you all. God bless.